What's up, guys? Thank you for watching this video. So today we're going to do an interview with Eduardo. He's a member of the Freedom Team. He's been in it for how long? You been in it? Like a month or so?
Yeah, it's a month and a half now.
Month and a half, and he's been absolutely crushing it. And so we're going to go on, kind of learn about his story, learn about how the Freedom Team has helped him out. So yeah, let's dive into it. So Eduardo, why don't you talk a little bit about kind of your story, kind of when you started trading, how long ago that was, and what kind of got you into it?
I started trading when it was 2020 when the pandemic started. I was just going through YouTube, and at that moment also I was thriving in my business. It was already 2 years into my business, and I said, okay, well I'm ready for another venture. And like I said, I stumbled upon trading on YouTube, so I started learning more about it. I funded my first account, and that's just pretty much how I started doing my trading. I wasn't doing good, um, except for the first two trades that did really good, and then after that it went all downhill. I had I had did a different course, and they taught me the basics of candlesticks and indicators, and how to use the platforms and stuff. And I started losing a lot of money. I blew up like 3 or 4 accounts. I had given up, countless of times, and something kept, bringing me back to trading. Something kept telling me just keep doing it, just keep trying, just keep trying. And I will stumble upon, videos like, oh, don't give up, try again. And I would try again, and I would blow up accounts. I would try different strategies. I would try all types of stuff, indicators. So I'm gonna do this time. I'm gonna do that. Um, so ultimately, I gave up. Like half a year went by, a year, and I said, and the same itch. I got the same itch. I was like, I need to. I want to learn this. I want to learn this stuff. I want to go ahead and get. You know, I want to learn trading the right way. So I was just on Twitter, and I was like, well, I really don't know if I want to continue with this or not. So I was gonna follow everybody. I was gonna just give up on trading altogether, like just forget about it. And then that's when I stumbled upon, your channel, and I had retweeted a few, of your things for me to look at later. And so I started looking at your threads, and I was like, okay, let me, no, just looking at price action, price action. Okay. I started researching it. I started following you. I started just back testing on my own, doing the demand, the supply, and I was doing all that, and it was working out. I was like, okay, this is actually working out. I was doing paper trades, and I was doing a lot more back testing, and then that's when you started doing your program, and I said, okay, I'm gonna join this program. I joined the program, and I was like, this is my last attempt. It's my absolute last attempt of doing this. If this doesn't work out, then I don't know. And I started the program, and I was doing this, and now we're at this point of my trading journey. Uh, I finished the courses, and I feel a lot much better. When me doing you doing my charting, getting in, getting out. I'm much more less emotional about it than what I was before. Because back then I used to hold on to losses. I used to just I was hoping that it would turn $50 would turn to like $3,000. Now I'm much more realistic, and it's much more. Everything has kind of slowed down for me, and I can go with the flow of the market. So
Totally. Totally. Yeah, let's talk about kind of your let's talk about the emotional aspect first. So I know, when you were first starting out, you definitely had probably a lot of emotions going on, probably over trading, revenge trading, all of that stuff. So talk about a little bit maybe, how that was before you joined and like kind of now you talk about how it's been going a little bit better for you. So like maybe some of the techniques you've used to, get better with your emotions or what's really helped out with that.
before, when I first started like trading, when I first placed my first trade, my heart would race, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't lose my $300. Oh my god, just go up. And I will see it go down, and I'm just like, it's just a fluke. It's just a fluke. It'll come up. It'll come up, and it'll keep going down, and I'm just like, what's going on? Why is it doing this? And I will hold on to it, and ultimately it'll just be like, $300 gone, $200 gone, $100 gone, $200 gone. And every time I would get in, I'm like, I hope it goes up. I was hoping, and I was looking at indicators, and I was like, okay, it's gonna touch this, it's gonna go up. And I'm just like, oh my God, why is it not working? So after doing all that, I went after taking your course. I have a much more, I have a much more, I have stops. So if as soon as it's and they're more I would say logical stops rather than oh I'm on the let it lose 300 then I'll get out. No, I was like okay with the stops I have now they're logical. So if I see okay this is where it pivots that's my stop, this is my entry, and this is my target. Uh, so now it's much more logical and much more probable for it not to blow up my account and much more probable for me to make some money. So then now when I place a trade, I'm much more calm about it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get in here. Cool. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. And then when it goes down, I'm not scared because I'm like, okay, well I have the stop right there. I'm like, if I get stopped out, that's okay. This is always the next trade. Rather compared to back then, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna see this opportunity again. Oh, this is not gonna happen. Oh, this sucks. But now I'm much more like, okay, cool. If I get stopped out, fine. I'm much more quicker at taking profits now because uh, of past, events. But I'm slowly gaining that confidence of me leaving that trade work out because when it hits my targets, but because of the past experience that I have, that's what really kind of stopping me now. But I'm slowly, like I said, I'm slowly gaining that confidence. So the emotions, I'm much more control with my emotions. If I have a losing day, I go back now. I go back and I take a screenshot and I'm like, okay, I look at it, I study that trade, and then when I see that trade happening, and I'm like, oh, that happened to me last time. Last week that happened. The same thing happened to me last week. But when I make money, I take a screenshot of that and I have a folder where I keep all my or I keep setups, or and when I have winning trades, I have that folder name as setups that work because if I see that setup again, you know, if you look at it, then you're gonna be like, oh look, that's the same setup. Let me take that trade one more time, and then with the logical stop, and then the targets, it goes up, boom, you're making money. Get out, let's go. And then now back then I used to look at the market literally from 6:30 to like 11 to almost the whole time. Now I look at the market in the morning time. I glance at it during midday, and then at the end of the day, I don't really look at it because you know I think my major of the moves that I like to do are in the morning time. So I have much more freedom now than was looking at just a screen all day. And I used to have like 4 or 5 screens. Now I look at my phone and I go back and forth, back and forth. So
Yeah,
it's
100%. And it seems like obviously you have a job right now, and so trading with the job is definitely something that a lot of people struggle with. And one of the things I like to teach inside the Freedom Team is kind of how you can automate your trading, how you can do trades in just an hour or so a day. It seems like you've done that pretty well so far, right?
yeah, yeah. It's real easy for me to do that because I you taught us how to do the OCO brackets and also how to put market conditions. So if I see a setup like before the market is open, I let a few minutes go by. Then if it touches on target, I wait for the retest, and that's when I put my market conditions. Just
Right.
so and yeah, and my stops. I manually take it out too. So
Totally. Yeah, and we're talking about emotions, talking about stops and targets and all of that. So obviously a lot of that all comes down to having a strategy. And it seems like before, you told me that you were strategy hopping, you're kind of going from indicator to indicator. So why do you talk a little bit now about what you're doing for your strategy and how that's been going for you?
can you repeat that one more time? The last part.
Yeah, talk a little bit about what you're doing for your strategy now and how that's been going for you.
Oh, okay, okay. So basically, what my strategy is, what works for me is I go ahead and look at the value area highs and value area lows that you taught us how to mark on Thinkorswim, and then I I put all I look for supply and demand, and I look for levels. So I put all the levels, the supply and demands that I see in that 1 hour, and then the value area highs and lows. So now, because I have, I have a much more better understanding, uh, I find it better for me to wait for a retest on value area highs and value area lows rather than taking out the breakouts. The breakouts work, but I will feel much better at taking on a retest rather than the breakouts. So if I see, $5 as value area low, $10 on value area high, let's say pre-market we're below that $5, it shoots up. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna get. I will normally get in, but because of my experience now with it, I will rather come back down, close a 1 minute candle above it, have a stop below, just like I would say like 5% below or 10% below that value area low, and then just have a target. If I would say if we have a 50% between those two levels, I would of demand or supply, then I will target that. It just depends on the chart.
Got you.
And that's my strategy. That's what's been working for me lately, you know. And I feel I'm really confident with that strategy because I've seen it work, a few times already. It's just a matter of execution at this point, and being consistent and being consistent. And I've been doing that strategy literally every single day. Every single day, I will look for that strategy every single day. Every single day, I will go back and I will look at those trades, and I will say, okay, what is going on here, or what is going on there, and then I will fix my mistakes, and then I'll start over again. So that is the difference of now before back then.
Totally. Yeah, it seems like now, like one of the key things that it seems like you're doing is you have a better plan of exactly what to do when you come to the market open. Because I know for me, when I first started, probably you as well, when you first started, it was always guessing like, okay, I'm gonna do this strategy. I don't really know where to get in, where to get out. You don't really have a plan. And now it seems like you have an idea of coming to the market. Oh, I know where my levels are gonna be. I know where I should be bullish, where I want to be entering long, where I want to be getting short, where I want to be getting stopped out, all of that stuff. So maybe talk a little bit about how the mentorship has kind of helped you formulate a strategy for your own. Because we have a little bit slightly different strategies actually, right? We don't trade exactly the same, right? But you've been able to kind of build your own based off the teachings you've had from my strategies as well, right? So maybe talk a little bit about how that's been helping you out.
It's just basically teaching you taught us how to look at the market and price action without using indicators. So I still I use the volume. I use I pretty much use all your tools, and I formulated my own strategy based off of that because you can honestly make a lot of different strategies with your method. So it's just a matter of what you're comfortable with. If you want to just be like, oh, well, I just want to do supply and demand. Okay, cool. Build something off supply and demand. And the whole freedom team, like everybody in there, like they help each other out. They say, okay, for me to have built that system, I had to ask questions. Okay, what, how can I look at this entry in different ways, right? So the it's been a lot of help with the freedom team and with all the videos that you have, and it has it clears up a lot of emotion and a lot of noise that you would normally hear. Oh look, and I hardly have any analysis paralysis. It's based on the chart. The chart gives you all the facts. You're not like, oh look, the divergence and this is low and then this is a bullish candle. It's gonna go up. Oh no, never mind. It's gonna go down. So you don't have that. You have all the supply and demand, and it's like if you just let's use supply and demand as an example. You trade supply and demand on a chart 100 times, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna see, oh, that that simple trade is gonna win 60 out of 40. It's a probable cause. You just gotta do it, and then and that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. I'm probably in trade 50 right now. I'm doing an 100 trade challenge just to see if my strategy is good. And so far, I will say it's like equal. Equal. It goes up and down, But at the end of this, once I'm done with the 100 trades, and I will see you, right? And then the next 100 trades, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get better because I have practiced that same strategy. So it's all about practice. It's all about asking questions and not being shy. Even asking, questions that you think are dumb, just ask them. You never know if something else might come out of it. So
Right.
that's what the team is all about. And the fact that you hop on a Q&A 2 times a week with live trading, nobody does that, man. Nobody. I have the first one that I signed up to. Nobody signed. No, he didn't even do it. He just gave you a bunch of YouTube videos. He was like, all right, learn. You're the only one that's done that. And you ask questions and you answer the questions. You're like, okay, this is how it is. This is how it is. And there's no emotion. There's just straight facts. That's why I like it. And that's how and you know, for what I paid, it's worth it. It's 1,000. It's even. I feel like it should have been more, but
Yeah, no,
it's
I
fire.
that it's yeah, no, we're definitely thinking of increasing prices. A lot of people that want to get in. But yeah, so going off of kind of the mentorship itself, is there anything in there specifically, maybe even just like trades that you took that are like specific to you that have really like kind of been a game changer for you in terms of, helping your trading?
Uh, so no, like I said, like the financial part of it, you know, just like I wasn't really focused on that, but it's much more of like a confidence builder now. So there's trades like I've done Apple, and I've been looking at Apple a lot. I don't, I trade Apple a lot because I see a lot of those setups on the Apple, and I'm really comfortable taking that. It's executing the setups, not because like I said, I don't take the breakouts, I take the retest. And once I see the confirmation, I take it and it goes up. I'm like, okay, cool. It's a confidence booster. So once I'm being consistent with that, once I see the setups working, then I'll slightly increase my risk and slightly and slightly and slightly. I know the money's gonna come. I know it's gonna come. I'm just building that strategy. That A1 setup for me. So and that's how it should have been from the start, but I didn't know. I didn't know. We
Totally.
all need somebody who knows their stuff and who's willing to help, and you're willing to help. So
Totally. Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time so far, but we can just kind of end it off on this. Do you have any advice to someone who's, maybe considering joining the Freedom Team, but maybe they have some doubts or some concerns?
yeah, if you have doubts, like if you feel like you're not gonna be, successful, my advice would be like you have to do life changes, and then you have to do, mental changes because you could do it, and I'm a living proof of it because I would have blown up my account already, and we're a month and a half in, and I still have money in my account. Who knows, because I followed my plan. I followed your mentorship. You said, hey, don't you know, look, get your stuff. If you follow through that whole thing, through the whole course, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna follow exactly what he said, and you're gonna make it. You're gonna outbeat the competition because you're following the same exact thing that you did to become successful. So we'll be exactly like you, right? Eventually, it might not come tomorrow or next week, or a month, but it's gonna come eventually. It just depends on how much of the time you want to put into it. So for me, I have a schedule, right? And then I have a set time where I do 2 or 3 hours and I watch the video again and again. I look back, I look at the charts. I put my sweat, my tears. I literally look at the chart, and I would take like a Saturday, Sunday off, to refresh, just so I don't like get overloaded with information. And that's been my motive, my schedule since I started, and it's been helping me tremendously. So, but whoever joins the team, you're gonna like it a lot if you put in the work and ask questions and just let yourself like just I don't know the right word, like just humble yourself and be like, okay, let me become a student, because in order for you to become like the teacher, you have to be the student, and you take that, like they say, your attitude outside the market reflects inside the market, that is exactly like if you're humble out here and you're putting in work and you're just not like, oh, it's gonna, I want it for free. No, it's not. If you work for it, it's gonna the market will reward you because your attitude reflects with the stock market, and it's helping me so far. So I know the money's gonna come, eventually, but I'm gonna keep following my rules. And when that time comes, I know that everything was worth it at the end.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a great message out there. Yeah, and if anyone, if you guys are interested in joining, the mentorship, go ahead, just scroll down and you can go ahead and apply there. But yeah, Eduardo, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview with
Yeah,
me. Awesome to
yeah,
see, seeing you grow since you started the mentorship, and just definitely a lot to go. But we're definitely gonna get there, and I'm excited to
yeah,
see you grow. So yeah, man, thank you so much again. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the chat.
yeah. You too, Jordan. Thank you.